So you know that thing where we're always saying backup, backup, backup? Eileen takes you through it with Akshat, the founder of Blogvault. So much more than a backup system. Enjoy.
Hello, I am here today with Akshat, who is coming to me from India, and we are going to talk about his product, the Blogvault. So why don't you give us a who you are, what you do, introduction.
Hi, Eileen. Thank you for having me here. I'm the founder of Blogvault. We are a premier WordPress backup and security solution. We've been doing this for over 5 years, have backed up over 220,000 websites.
What?
Yes, and personally, we believe that have the best WordPress backup service and the best security service for WordPress today.
Tell me a little bit about your team. It's you and how many other people are?
Right. So totally there are 13 of us doing this. We have 8 engineers and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in marketing.
Wow. Okay. So that's quite the team. Now, I know you've been to New York a few times for WordPress meetups. How many of you are like out in the field going to these different things with the product, and how many came to New York?
Right. So actually, a colleague of mine also was there in New York. Primarily, it's me traveling because I do a lot of business development. But we do have my teammates going to different WordCamps around the world to represent us and just to be a part of the community.
And how many people are using your product now?
We have over 3,000 paying customers.
Oh my gosh. Well, Andrew used it and then called me and said, you have got to get on with Akshat. This is like a game changer. It's so easy. It's so wonderful. I mean, he made me like stop everything so he could show me how to use it. So you've got a big fan because he's a lot of stuff. Would you mind taking us through how the product works? And I'm going to put on my Eileen web designer, very basic. I'm sort of delete phobic. I'm update phobic. I'm backup phobic. So I'm going to ask you questions that maybe some of our newer or web designers may be asking, or some people who are like me and have fears of losing everything.
Absolutely. Right. So we actually love working with paranoid people. Like we are ourselves paranoid. I'm not calling you paranoid, but when it comes to backup, when it comes to backups, I think being paranoid is a very good thing.
Okay.
There is you need the best quality backups, because when you actually need the backups, until then you don't even think about it, but when you need it, and that's when things tend to fail.
Right.
And
too late. If you need it, it's too late, right?
It's not too late. It's just that you don't want to discover anything new at that point of time.
Okay, I'm with you.
Right. So that's where Blogvault prevents it from it being too late. And we ensure that in case anything goes wrong, we will your site will be protected and safe.
Okay.
Right. All right. So I'll give you a quick overview of Blogvault, then we'll run you over the dashboard and our application. And please feel free to ask me questions along the way.
All right. Are you going to share your screen?
Yes. Just give me a moment. All right. Can you see the screen, Eileen?
I can.
All right. So this is our website, blogvault.net. Like I said, we consider ourselves the best WordPress backup and security service. You sign up. We are a service. We are a complete WordPress backup service and not just a plugin. So with us, you don't. There is a plugin component to it, but there is a service component to it also. So what does that mean? You install a lightweight plugin onto your site, and then that plugin works in conjunction with our servers to back up your site. All the heavy lifting is done by our servers.
So it doesn't slow anything down.
Doesn't slow anything down. We take the best practices. We ensure that your data is completely safe. We don't copy any files onto your site itself. So everything is on our servers. So you just need to install the plugin, don't need to configure anything. It's just complete peace of mind with just as soon as you install the plugin. That's it.
You get a license key or API code or what?
Right. So the license key is embedded into the plugin that you download. Also, we have another mechanism where you can sign into so there is a license key associated with, but it's almost hidden from you. We try to make it as simple as possible.
I like that. That's awesome. Okay, because sometimes you get these license keys and you're like, whoa, where do I get it? Where do I put it?
Right, and there is a bit of complexity there. So again, we are aiming to make it as simple as possible with zero configuration. Everything happens like you install the plugin and then you forget everything. We'll take care of the best practices, because a lot of times what happens is people will set up backups, but those backups don't follow the best practices, and the best practices is what differentiates good backups from bad, because backups have huge security implications, and you want to ensure that you want to follow every single good practice in place.
Okay, so like a bad practice perhaps would be if you back and you keep it on the same server, or what's bad?
Yeah, that's a perfect example of a bad practice. I think we still see while there is a lot of noise associated with not doing something like that, we still see considerable number of people who just have local backups, right?
Right.
Storing backups in an unsafe manner, utilizing the same key across multiple sites. So you might be using a popular WordPress backup plugin, and you might be copying it to Dropbox, but you will be using the same Dropbox account for both the sites. In this case, if a single site gets compromised, it will lead to the entire, not only the backups of the site getting deleted, but also all the other sites that you have got. So there are a lot of these crazy implications which you don't think of.
Right. I did not think of that. So let me just say this back to you to make sure that I understand it correctly. If I'm using, and I don't even know the name of it, so I'm just making this up. Let's say I use a plugin called Backup to Dropbox, and I install it on 10 websites. One website gets compromised, it gets hacked, or it goes down, or there's some sort of bug in there. Then all the other 9 websites could also be affected.
Exactly. And you might lose all the backups also because your Dropbox account.
See why I'm paranoid?
Right. And this is just one of the little things, but there are lots of aspects which make a good backup.
Okay.
So you fire up backup and then you forget about it. You don't know whether it's working. You're busy building websites. You're not worried about, oh, is my backups correct or not?
Right.
Our service makes sure that your backups are working correctly.
Okay.
Because our servers are constantly monitoring to make sure, and we have a bunch of tests after every backup to ensure that the backups are correct.
And so do I get like a gold star or something next to my backup to know that it was?
We just assume that it's correct. In case something is broken, then we'll let you know.
Oh yeah.
For us, but the default is it works.
The default is okay. Set it and forget.
Yeah, set it and forget.
Okay.
Right, and so that's the goal with Blogvault, and we've tried to make it as simple as possible. So we let me now take you over to the dashboard. So while you can go over the website at blogvault.net, I think the proof of the pudding lies in the eating. So we'll see the dashboard that you get with all your sites once you have set up Blogvault.
Okay.
Right. So in this case, you can see our own dashboard. This is a test dashboard with a lot of test URLs.
Yeah.
You can see that on the site, on this dashboard, you can see all your sites listed down. Mm-hmm. Right. So yeah. It's ideal for people with large number of websites.
Okay.
Right. And You can control all the backups and more from a single place.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Right. Please tell me.
I don't host websites for my clients. I have them all get their own individual hosting. So if let's say I have, 10 different clients, would I need 10 different accounts with you or one account?
Right. So ideally, so this is another bad backup practice. Ideally, your backups should be completely independent of your web host. Today, you have a lot of web hosts offering backups as part of it, but we strongly recommend, and again, the paranoid me would strongly recommend not having your backups in the same place as your hosting.
Okay, so
And
go ahead, sorry.
right. So that's one of the things, a lot of people make that mistake, but we have seen for many, many reasons why you should have your backups to be completely independent of hosting. So a very simple one can be you forget to renew your hosting, and for some reason the hosting reminder mails go to spam.
Right.
Right?
Right.
In that case, your backups are also, you lose your backups along with your hosting at the same time. And we have seen this happen quite a few number of times. So while it seems like, oh, it cannot happen to me, I've seen it happen so many times that.
It happens. Of course it happens. It totally happens. All right. So what would happen is I would install your plugin on my 10 different sites. And then when I log in here into your dashboard, I would see all of the different sites that I have the plugin on.
Correct. And you'll see the name, the URL, we'll also take a screenshot to make it easy for you to identify the site, certain details associated with the backup. So in this case, you can see, let's say for some site, when the backups took place, when the next backup is going to take place, what the size of the backup is.
Yeah, I can see this
some
one.
additional information.
Yep.
In this case, you can see that, okay, everything is working fine. For Blogvault.net, we have real-time backups enabled. There are 34 real-time backups that have taken place. That means as changes are being made to the site, they get captured and backed up.
So if you are in development mode, maybe you have that on, and then once it's launched, you back up every day or something like that?
Typically, we expect this feature to be used by people who publish very often.
Okay.
Or if you have a WooCommerce store.
Right.
In that case, you cannot afford to lose even a single order.
Right.
And our real-time backups come in handy then.
Oh, okay. All right. Good to know. I didn't even think about that.
Right. And you can see sites where the plugin is reachable, unreachable. When was the previous backup done? In this case, 2 years ago, at the time of the backup is mentioned. You can also see the number of plugin updates which are available.
Oh.
Or theme updates which are available. So you can upgrade the theme if you want right from here.
Oh, so you don't have to log into the website.
You don't have to log into the website.
Interesting. So you can really be productive out of this dashboard.
Right. And it's going to get even more productive. We have a slew of features lined up, which will make it, I think, a must-have for anybody managing 10 or more websites.
Okay.
Let's take this example with Blogvault. You can click on the site, and you will get to the details page. This is what we call the details page. Over here, you can control every aspect of the site. So you can see the backup. You can see how many MB of files are there, how many tables are there. We intelligently skip files which need not be backed up. So if you have backup files from other plugins or cache files or log files, we will not back that up, because at time of restore, they'll cause an issue.
Got it.
Right?
So let's pretend this is eileenlonergan.com and something went wrong, or this is my dashboard. I could download the backup. So if I wanted extra protection, I could download it and stick it on my hard drive or on a thumb drive.
Right.
Okay. I could stick it in my Dropbox if I wanted.
Correct.
All right. The migrate is probably something we talk about independently. But so let's say I did all my updates and the site came crashing down or something went wrong. All I have to do is that one click auto restore.
Right. So we click on auto restore and we take in the FTP details. Okay. Now you'd ask, why are we taking in the FTP details? Because we don't modify, our plugin is not capable of modifying your site in any way. Right. And also while restoring the site, so many things can go wrong. In this case, having the FTP details, we support FTP, SFTP, FTPS. So all mechanisms provided by the web hosts. We take that so that we can completely, like if the entire site is disappeared, you can still restore the site completely.
Okay.
Okay, so you don't have to have a working site to make it work, if you understand what
I do. That's great. Okay. Wow.
that's a very important aspect, which is why we take in the FTP details. We don't store the FTP details ever, because that would be a security hazard.
Right.
So these are minor things, but again, things which you need to be very careful about. And that's the thing that we pride ourselves with, where we make sure that we pay attention to the smaller details.
Right.
All right, so suppose your site goes down. In this case, what you can do is you'll go to your history page. While you can click on auto restore, you don't know, or maybe something is broken on your site.
Right.
You don't know what broke.
Right.
So in this case, you'd go to our history page and we'll show you the details of the site. As you can see, not much has changed on our site for quite some time. But over here, when a change happens, so we were on WordPress 4.7.5 and update happened. If you can see the mouse. So we'll show you that, oh, there's an update to version 4.8.1. So now you know that suppose something broke, then you can be like, okay, let me look at the version which was 7 days back. Maybe this is the one I want to restore.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right, so showing that update, these are small things, but again, they make a big difference.
May I ask a question?
Yeah, please tell me.
Who determines how often the backups are done? Like, do you have a setting where I say once a day, once a week?
So we recommend, it's by default set to once a day, and that's the only setting we have currently. If you want more backups, you enable real-time backups, but we think that once a day is good. We recommend against doing once a week, first of all, because our system does not create files, use of space, nothing it does. So for the website owner, it has zero effect. And once a day ensures that you don't have to worry about you did an update 4 days ago. Now so you don't want to ever lose any change or any thing that you have done.
Right.
So that reduces the window considerably.
Okay, that's great. Good to know.
All right. So suppose now I'm like, okay, so maybe I want to restore to this version, which is 4.7.5 with 4.75. I'm still not sure whether this is the right one or not. So what I can do is I can do a test restore. Again, this is a feature which is very unique to us. What we are doing is we are restoring the backup on our test servers. These are servers which are sitting in our data center, and you are restoring the site on this test server to test out the backup. And you can test out any of the backups that you have.
Okay.
This process will do the restore on our test server. You can see whether the site is working fine on the test server. If it is, then you can do the actual restore. So you don't have to actually keep playing around with your main site.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. I get it. I understand that part.
So while the test restore is taking place, let's go back to our dashboard. You can see, okay, let me just move this guy around. And you can see our test restore is in progress. It's going to take some time. Okay.
Sure.
And while it takes some time, okay.
And I should have opened up the conversation with this, that I am having, I guess, Jose leftover hurricane. So my internet is a little bit wonky and the wind is howling and the rain is coming down. So things that are slow, maybe because of my weather.
Right. So while the test restore is going on, it will take some time. What we will do is, I'll show you some of the other aspects of Blogvault.
Okay.
Okay. Beyond this, you can manage your plugins, themes, users. We also have a great migrate function. So if you want to migrate your site to another host, to a different URL, we'll let you do it with a click of a button.
Okay,
This
so
is a
let's talk about this, like, because that is a big issue for a lot of people. They build a website on their development server or, you know, a folder within another site that's live, and then they want to make it live. So how can we, is this easy for people like the Eileens of the world?
right. Absolutely. We make it really, really easy to do so. You click on migrate site. Again, you enter the details, FTP details of the new location. Click on OK, and we are good to go. So we will take care of everything. We'll copy the data. We'll automatically rewrite the URL. So if you're moving from a development to a production environment, we'll rewrite the URLs. We'll rewrite we'll rewrite the configuration. We'll do all of that automatically.
So you don't need the Velvet Blue plugin or anything like that?
No, and also, so because we have the best migration system, we have also partnered with all the major web hosts for WordPress, like WP Engine, Flywheel, Cloudways, Pantheon, Liquid Web. You name the major web host for WordPress, and there are partners. We power their automated migration plugin because our migrations are so good. We have done, I think, more than 500,000 migrations until now.
Wow.
So
Okay.
you can see that the test restore is complete. We see it here. We can access the test restore. And you can see the test restore over here with so if you see the URL, it's a temporary URL.
Yep.
Where the test restore is created. And you can explore the site. You go to WP admin. You also get SFTP details for the site. So if you want, you can experiment with it. You can upgrade, downgrade, plugin. So you can utilize this as a complete staging environment.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Right. So actually, we are soon going to launch our separate section called staging over here. So which will not only let you do all of this, but if you're merging back from a development to a production environment or from a staging to production, you'll be able to see the difference between the production and staging before merging it. So you will know what the site, what changes are being made on the staging before moving it to production. So it gives you complete visibility, and you can control which parts get moved.
What do you mean? Like, what would be different parts?
Maybe you do not. Suppose you have a WooCommerce site, right? You might be doing some. You might be updating some plugins on the staging environment, or maybe you are updating the theme, or maybe making a change to a theme file.
Mm-hmm.
Right? In this case, you will want to bring it back to the production. When you're moving the site back to the production, you do not want to overwrite the posts table, the WooCommerce tables. So you can exclude those. You can be like, okay, I'm only interested in moving these specific files or these specific plugins. And you'll be able to select that, see the difference, make sure that it's exactly what you're expecting, and then move it across. Because you might be working, the client you are working with might be making changes by themselves, and you do not want to have any surprises.
Got it. Makes sense. Okay.
So this is one of our most powerful and loved features, our staging environment, our test restore.
Right.
And it's only going to get more powerful soon.
Okay.
Going back to our dashboard.
So let's say somebody went into the staging, then they could one by one update plugins and see if they have one plugin that's wreaking havoc.
Exactly. And it's a safe, completely safe environment to do these tests.
That's great. I love that. Okay.
So the other really powerful feature that we have is our malware scanner.
Oh,
So we are showing you that this site is hacked.
ugh. Okay.
And hopefully there is a file, there's a plugin file, there's a file over here which contains malware. Let's try another one. So we will tell you if a site has malware, and then you can see the list of malware files
So what
on the
happens?
thing.
So you see that file and then what do you do?
Okay, let me see which one. So let's say this one has more malware file, revision.php. You can see this is a malware file.
Oh, yikes.
Okay.
Okay.
What you can do is you can auto clean the site. Again, enter the FTP details, and with a click of a button, you'll be able to clean the site.
Wow, that is outstanding.
So we have one of the most powerful malware scanners in the world for WordPress.
Yep.
We have spent over 3 years building it, and I think this is going to be a game changer for us. We are also going to be launching this under its own brand, whereas it will be integrated into Blogvault too.
Okay. So this is for somebody like me who has web design clients and wants to have a recurring revenue model as part of their business. This really makes it possible for you to provide backups, provide security checks, and you take all of the nerve-wracking guesswork right out of it.
Absolutely, and our goal is to make it really, really easy and make our tools very, very reliable.
Right, right. This doesn't seem like it could be any easier. Okay, I keep interrupting. Back to you. You tell me what else I know.
So I think this is this is what Blogvault is about. We can back up sites as I think we have done backups of a site which is 300 GB in size. So because we do incremental backups, because all the load is taken up by our servers, we can back up a site like extremely large sites which most other plugins or services cannot do.
Right. Okay. Yeah, this is awesome. And why don't you tell us a little bit about the pricing?
Right. So we start at $89 per year or $9 per month for a single site.
$9 a month for how many sites? One?
For a single site, because we take care of everything.
Yeah, that's great.
And if you're a developer, then we have a great unlimited plan. Let me bring that up, which we see a lot of our developer customers really preferring this unlimited pricing, where you can back up all your sites, so all your client sites for $99 a month.
Wow.
And you get staging and all those other additional functionality.
Right. So I see very frequently web designers charging $30 or more a month for backups and updates. So you could easily have this as a profit center at $99 a month because you're spreading it out over your clients. If you have 10 clients and you're charging them $30 a month,
That's correct.
Right? You can easily update. I mean, if you hit a snag, you hit a snag. But let's say, you don't hit a snag, you can really get a lot done in a couple of hours with this.
Absolutely. So the other thing is, again, why did we have an unlimited pricing is because we have seen that a lot of developers and designers, they have development sites of their own. They ideally should back it up well. and especially when you're doing migration, etc. So you don't want to start worrying, oh, is this development site worth the money? Or you should not be thinking of, sometimes you have even clients who are not on your monthly maintenance plan, but you have great relationship with them, and you know that if anything goes wrong, they contact you to troubleshoot. And at that time, if they don't have great backups, then that multiplies the amount of work you need to do. And on the unlimited plan, ensure that you don't have to worry about making those decisions at any time.
Absolutely. And for some, maybe you do have backups somewhere, but you don't really understand how to reinstall them, and you need to hire somebody.
Absolutely. Or you need to then otherwise ask them for, or contact their hosting provider in case that is happening. And that's a time consuming and painful exercise. And you don't want to be troubleshooting tools which you do not understand. Here you have a single service which you are used to and are on top of.
Right. And I mean, the dashboard feature is really excellent because it's log into one place as opposed to going into every single different site.
Right. And that's very important. It's completely independent. So your site might have gone down completely. Your hosting provider is suffering a bad day, and you might want to go to a different hosting provider because your site is important. We have seen all sorts of issues. We have seen situations where a hurricane hit New York, I think, a few years back, and data centers, the entire data centers came down for multiple days. And then sites had to be moved and all of that. So these are eventualities which you don't think of, but they happen, and you do not want to rely because and it's not the hosting provider's fault. They are fighting. You can't control a hurricane,
Right.
but there is, at least in such situations, having that assurance that your site is up and running at another place quickly is a big win.
It is a big win. It is a big win. All right. Is there anything else you want me to know or want the Elegant Marketplace community to know?
So you can always reach out to me. We have I'm Akshat at blogvault.net. Will love like helping out with backup security or anything else. Our team loves talking to customers or people in the WordPress community, and just helping out in any way we can.
Okay.
And yeah, if you have any questions, please do let me know. I think there are a lot of things which are hidden in terms of small aspects which we keep taking care of, and I could go on indefinitely, but then I've covered all the major aspects for sure. Like we have a secure site feature which will let you implement some of the good practices when it comes to securing your sites. These are not foolproof mechanisms by any, but these are good practices to follow. And at times people do present them as foolproof mechanisms, and we think that's not the right thing. These are just these are important things that can help you in certain situations, but.
So wait, what is this? Essentials, Advanced, and Paranoid?
Right. So essentials are like you want to limit the number of logins. If somebody is logging in too many times, you stop them. That's one of the ways sites get hacked. One of the major ways sites get hacked. You want to disable files editor. So if you ever access your WP admin, you will see you can edit files. Often we see that people as soon as they get access to WP admin, they'll change the files and add malware. So this stops that. Change database prefix is something which we're not very fond of. It's something which people want. I would just, so it lets you change the database prefix. I don't know if you understand that in in the WordPress config file, you'll see a string called db prefix is equal to WP underscore. So if you ever looked at your WordPress database, you'll see that all tables start with WP underscore. This lets you change that WP underscore to a different value.
That's crazy.
Right. and
I have a few sites like that. Okay.
right, and you have block PHP execution in untrusted folder, so you don't want to allow. So many of the most famous hacks like MailPoet or TimThumb, which took down hundreds of thousands of sites, they happen because you have certain folders where files can get created and explore. And so in uploads file, let's take the example of uploads folder. Okay, uploads folder, if you know, this is the place where your images and etc. All the uploads media gets stored in your WordPress site. This is a place where there should ideally be never any code present. So you do not want anyone to be able to execute any code which is present on uploads folder. If you utilize this function, it will stop that execution.
All right. So you come in here and you just click the radio buttons and it activates them.
Again, you have to click the radio button, click continue, enter your FTP details because we don't make changes to.
Okay, got it. So keep those FTP details handy. I mean, they're easy to find on any hosting, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Select files folder, secure files folder read only. This makes the entire site read only, not so that a hacker is. So sometimes what happens is people get hacked again and again and again, and this is a mode where you just want to mark your site completely read only so that you get sanity.
Right. Sanity with one radio check, I'm in.
Right, because when the sites keep getting hacked again and again,
Yes,
you don't.
I know. I have one like that that somebody called me to help them with, and I'm like, ugh.
Right, so these are sometimes these small things help in situations where you just want to catch a breath.
Right.
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 And
absolutely.
You want to block plugin theme installation. Again, you don't want anyone to be able to install a plugin or a theme from the WordPress admin.
Okay.
Finally, we let you, suppose you have been hacked. So two of the most, I think what you should definitely do if your site is ever hacked is you should reset all passwords and change all security keys. Okay, these are reset all passwords is obviously every user's password needs to be reset because you don't know after the hack if a hacker has added a new a password which he's aware of, or they've cracked a password. So you want to reset all the passwords. Similarly, you want to change all the security keys associated with the, and security keys are these funny, again in the config file, you'll see this big random string containing strange characters or just random characters. Those need to be reset because they also have a very important meaning when it comes to WordPress security.
Okay.
So if your site is ever hacked, you want to do 1 and 2 always.
Okay. All right.
So we let you do all of this. Again, it's a minor thing, but we've seen that customers require it.
So within the dashboard, we have the 10 Eileen sites. I can adjust the settings. Everybody can have their own sort of customization as to what we're doing. If I have a WooCommerce site, I may want to do the real-time backups. Somebody else, that one that came to me that had been hacked a few different times, we may want to go straight to the paranoid level, but other people don't have to be the paranoid level, right?
Exactly. So you can juggle it on the site basis.
Okay, that's great.
So,
right.
And we are continuously adding more features and more updates. You will see us improve considerably over the next few months and years for sure. We are constantly investing in the product.
How long have you been in business?
More than 5 years.
Oh, all right.
Full time. So before that, I was doing it part time, but we have been doing it more than 5 years full time.
5 years full time, and are you adding more people? You're at 13. Are you?
Right.
Wow.
So we are actually always hiring.
You're always hiring. Yeah.
So we need to, like when we find a good person, we definitely tend to hire them.
Yes, snap them up. Keep them for yourself.
Yes, because hiring is a big challenge.
It is a challenge. It definitely is a challenge. Well, that's why I think so many people if you have the option to do this yourself instead of outsourcing it, it's a really good option, because outsourcing or hiring people when you find the right person, it's perfect. But when you don't, it's a drag.
Right, and for us, it's such a complex product. We definitely want the best people working on it, and so we are an engineering-driven company. So I'm an engineer myself. I'm most of the time I'm working on the product, and yeah, so we love building it. I think we have a really amazing roadmap, and yeah, we'd love to have more people check it out to try out our service.
I definitely am going to investigate, and I'm on board. This is amazing. So, Akshat, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate the step-by-step, because I need to see and hear and to actually be able to get the information straight from the engineer, the developer is great for me, and certainly great for the Elegant Marketplace community. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and it's been really good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you. And the next time you're in New York, we're getting together.
Absolutely, we'll definitely ping you once I'm on the East Coast.
Okay, perfect.